All right, trying out some Bant Spirit. So, this build, notably, is only playing 20 lands because we've gained Glasspool Mimic as a land that you're able to collected company into, which is really sweet. This card seems like a really powerful addition to these blue collected company decks. The fact that it is a land that is not a brick when you cast your Coco is really, really sweet. We've got a couple other new cards in this deck as well. We're playing some Linvala, Shield of the Gate. So the party text on this is not something that we care about, but notably, this is a 3/3 flyer that can sacrifice to give your things hexproof or indestructible till end of turn. So this gives you some more counterplay against sweepers in your creature deck, which seems really powerful. Now we've got some Skyclave Apparition here, which is a spirit, so it benefits from some of our spirit synergies, and then it's also a really powerful piece of interaction. So normally these Banisher Priest style effects give your opponent back the thing you took with them, but Apparition explicitly gives them a token back instead, which is really, really powerful because it gets rid of whatever you're answering permanently, even if they can get something back by killing your 2/2. Squidfish, thanks for the 18 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. One thought I have while glancing at this is we have 8, 10, 13, 17 blue. I kind of wouldn't mind an extra Branchloft Pathway, I don't think. So that way I could have a 12th way to cast Goose on one. Nice, Jack. The mana is interesting. I think I'm going to cut a Hinterland Harbor for a pathway here. And then we'll go ahead and dive in. Is there any point in the sequence which Doomblade can interact with the historic Neoform combo? Yeah, if they're comboing on 3 to 4 mana, Vernash, you can kill the Seagate Stormcaller in response to its Enters play trigger, so that way they no longer have a 2-drop in play to sacrifice to Neoform. Obviously, that doesn't work if they have another 2-drop to sacrifice, but if they're comboing early, generally they won't. I did not touch the sideboard, Tenzin Hammer. The only change I have made to the deck list that was submitted to me is the one change to the mana base I just made. I grabbed the latest iteration this morning. Alright, so here's a question. How many 4-color Omnath decks will there be at the grand finals in 2 weekends? What do you think? They only banned Uro. How many of that archetype will there still be? I think 60%? Greater than 50%. Yeah, 50% is probably the line. How many will there be? I feel like the cards are too simple. There's just not enough words on the cards. What a weird critique. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if we can Fade claim the Firstborn, we have a real shot here. And I get to hold up Lofty Denial now? Are they dead next turn? I attack with these and put them to 12, and then this is lethal next turn? Thanks for the 16 months full effect. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I gotta kill this because otherwise Woe Strider plus Butcher plus Goat equals dead Supreme Phantom. I think a good response to thinking on your question, dude, like a good response to the cards not having enough words on them, you should ask your friend why they don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Then. For those of you out there who haven't looked at a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, I'd encourage you to go look at some Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Flying is busted, chat. Flying is busted. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a full thesis on each card now. It does. It really does. Alright, so I think I'm supposed to cut Nebelgast Herald here and probably some Rattlechains. I think I want to cut the things that have 1 toughness on them against the Mayhem Devil deck. That's what it comes down to. Scavenging Ooze seems fine. Oh, Kira. Kira sounds great here, right? She counters Claim and the first Mayhem Devil trigger. That works out pretty nice. I guess Night of Autumn might be something that I want. It's a lot of 3-drops, though. I'm going to trim a couple of Lofty Denial on the draw. Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! I just know their cards are wordy. Competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Tends to be very combo focused, right? Is my understanding? Yeah, that looks great. The old 3-spell, 3-land, 5-spell hand. Very tribal and very combo-esque. Okay. I mean, to be fair, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of tribal-like synergies, tribal-style decks tend to be very popular, especially among more casual players. I wish Magic had better support for tribal gameplay in general. I think those types of synergy-based decks that play to the board tend to be very good for Magic. I think we just play Kira at the first opportunity, right? I feel like with this card in play, my opponent is gonna have a hard time interacting with our stuff. The spirits are going to war! Can someone update my ban command to include a link to the ban list article? Keep my wording the same, but link the update at the end. I updated it and got rid of the link because I wanted to change the wording. This is a great draw. No cardboard live day. If you were watching while we were playing Morrowind, you'll need to refresh your stream to get access to the overlay. Twitch has a bug where when you change games, the other things don't update automatically. This archetype seems real good, chat. I missed that at the end. I'm gonna tweet that out. I missed that at the end. That's a load of crap. Sorry, we're tweeting. This update doesn't mention historic at all, except to say it focuses on historic at the very end. Overall, do you think winning games of Magic relies more on skill or luck? I think if Magic was largely a luck-based game, you wouldn't see the same players consistently doing well. Magic is very much like poker in that poker and blackjack and stuff like that, and then it has elements of variance paired with skill to maximize your ability to win. I think one thing that players don't discuss enough, Pseudo Panda, thanks for the 13 months, I appreciate that, welcome back. One thing that players don't discuss enough when it comes to luck versus skill in Magic is one of the things that people don't do or understand very often. The stream title is updated. Please refresh your page. One of the things people don't understand with regards to skill in Magic is people often seem to think that Magic being skill testing explicitly applies to in-game actions being skillful. And I think a lot of games of Magic often tend to lack what I refer to as in-game player agency, which is that your decisions inside of the game tend to be pretty scripted. Take this hand, for example. This hand, my decisions are basically, I kept, and now, am I playing this as a land, or am I saving it as a creature? And the rest of my plays are very straightforward, right? I'm going to play my only 2-drop on 2, I'm going to play my only 3-drop on 3, and I'm going to play my 4-drop on 4. I'm not really making decisions inside of this game. A lot of the skill in games of Magic comes during deck building and deck registration, picking a good deck and building it well as how you mulligan and how you sideboard. With simple heuristics and a good fundamental understandings of how the core game rules work, the actual decisions you make inside of games of Magic themselves tend to be relatively straightforward a lot of the time. There aren't a lot of complex permutations and sequencing decisions that you make on average in a lot of games of Magic these days. You can always type exclamation point. I'm going to put exclamation point bans in the stream title, speaking of. Is your Esper Doom deck good enough to craft on the ladder? I can't remember the last time I played Esper Doom, so I have no idea what you're referring to when you say my Esper Doom deck. I don't know, Crazy Duck. If there's a typo, fix it. You got a mod sword. Yes, yeah, this looks like the Scourgeless Croakies has been playing. Crunch, crunch. It looks like there is still a lot of other formats waiting to escape Uro, though. The still in between Uro and though should probably not be there. Wait, they made brand new Magic cards? Wow, yeah, this is really slick. I just assumed they reskinned existing Magic cards, but these are like new cards, right? Like these are unique cards. Yeah, Evan's right. This is huge. Yeah, this is a big deal. Wait, did you say they're legal in Eternal formats? Wait, are these Legacy legal? Are they coming to Arena? Are they coming to Arena? If they don't bring those cards to Arena, seems like a pretty big miss on their part. So I think this is a matchup where I want to play to the board more than anything. So I'm going to cut these Lofty Denials. I think I want at least some Kiras. I definitely want Skyclave Apparition. Oh, I clicked on the wrong scene, sorry. All right, what am I doing? I need to cut 4 more things here real quick. I was tweeting. Yeah, this hand seems fine. This will be a hand where we keep Glasspool Mimic as a spell, I think. And kind of going back to that, talking about Magic and in-game player agency and decision-making, one of the reasons why I love these spell land split cards is because these cards, in my opinion, have added more in-game player agency and decision-making to Magic than any other set of designs they've had in recent memory. They're so phenomenal. Definitely does not seem like a full year since I first dropped my sub here. Keep up the great content. You too, Space Martian. You stay safe out there as well. Thanks for keeping me around. I wouldn't be here without a support of folks like you. Welcome back. For folks that are interested in, if they want a Spike Field Hazard here, I think I'm fine with that. For folks that are interested in post-Euro Standard, I'm going to be doing Standard every evening this week. As always, my schedule is pinned on my Twitter and is available on my website. So you can check out both of those places for info on what I plan to stream when. I think I'm just passing here. Flash and Rattlechains. Yeah, Chewy, like lots of card games have done that over the years. Like Dragon Ball's done it. There's probably half a dozen different games. WoW TCG did it. There's lots of games at this point that's a thing that's possible in them. Adam May, thanks for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna try and trade here, I think. This gets pretty scary in the long run. Trample, haste, yeah, so... So, this is probably just a collected company turn, right? I think I'm going to spin it now, so that way we can find a Lord and hit for more damage here. And kill listener spawn, sure. That's a great find. And then honestly, I think we just Skyclave Apparition, right? Just like exile their thing. This card is such a huge power level increase to the Arctic that we're playing. All right, so far so good for the Bant Spookies. This list feels real good. Probably going to update the configuration on the website to be something close to this. I had been meaning to do that. I'm glad we had a chance to play this today. It definitely seems like if you're looking for a historic list that's legal for our modified historic this weekend, this deck does not contain Muxus, Claim the Firstborn, or Uro, which are all banned in the Hooglandia Open on Saturday. So this one definitely seems like a reasonable choice there. Uro. Uro is banned in Historic this weekend. Uro's not banned in Historic on the ladder because Wizards is Wizards, but I care about you and love you, chat, so my tournament has Uro banned this weekend. And I'm gonna diddle their elf during their upkeep. Take them off of mana for the turn. And then hopefully, once we collect our company here, we're going to be able to race down whatever our opponent is doing. And again, if you like the idea of a custom ban list historic tournament, please show up and watch the event this weekend. If you're a sub, fill that out on the sub survey that's going to go out on Sunday. I'm going to send out the next sub survey after... after the open on Saturday. I would love to do custom ban lists and weird formats, but I can only justify doing that if it's popular and people are receptive to it. And likewise, if you don't like it, make sure you let me know that you're not a fan of doing things like that on the sub survey as well. The open series here on this channel is going to be sculpted and constructed just like we do for all the rest of my streams, which is to say that it's going to be largely based on the feedback that people give me. Space 4, thanks for the 31 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So, Scavenging Ooze and Skyclave Apparition both seem great against Uro. My opponent's blue-green deck probably isn't targeting my stuff very often, so we're going to cut this. Admain, thanks for the 42 months. Welcome back. Definitely want my Lofty Denials here, I think, against the ramp deck. Someone pointed out we were talking about other formats we could do for Arena. I might ask about interest in Gladiator as something we could pursue, both as content for the general channel and possibly for an open series event. Gladiator, for those not familiar, is a 100-card historic singleton format on Arena that some people in the community have put together and have been playing. There was a community event for an MTG Melee last weekend that had 100 people playing it. There's at least something of an interest there. Yeah, it's no commanders, no sideboards. It's just 100 card singleton. Historic legal cards, I think they said Oko and Field of the Dead are banned, with everything else being legal. No, it's best of... I mean, you can play... Like any Magic format, you can play it however you want, Wanderer. We would play it as a best-of-3 format. I don't ever intend to run best-of-1 tournaments. Gary Bim, thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hey, we actually have, unless you run an LOR tournament. No, if we run a Runeterra tournament, it'll definitely be best of 3. I think for a tournament setting, having best of 3 is generally speaking ideal. Inhumane Rabbit, thanks for the subgifty. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Or thanks for the support. That's nice. And this has Flash too with Rattlechains. God bless. I mean, not only is there subject to variance in card games, but just like you want players to actually play longer rounds and stuff too, right? So this is counter unless they pay 4, right? And they have 1, 2, 3 at the moment. With Galta in mind, we need to Skyclave kill this next turn, it looks like. Apparition does hit Ceratops. It's 4 or less. I should have left this back last turn. Attacking with this for 1 meant I took 3 on their combat, which really wasn't great. Morning, Ken. We will be entering maintenance soon. I assume that's to patch out. I assume that's to patch out the, what's it called, cards? The banned cards? We'll be banning Uro momentarily. We got a chump block with Supreme Phantom here, unfortunately. Billy Zane Jr., thank you for the 22 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I think we're dead here at this point, right? Just not enough mana. Get him game 3 on the play. How much have you missed? We've been playing Spirits for half an hour. Yeah, Sand's great. Sign me up. Definitely just spending my mana here. I'm going to be spending my mana on 3-4 next 2 turns here. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, I updated a lot of the deck lists on my website. Not, there are still some other things I want to test, like Spirits. There were enough changes that I didn't want to update in the dark, but yeah, I updated things like Growl. I think I'm just attacking for 2 here. I'm going to wait to play this out until they cast their spells, so that way if we hit a Skyclave and they put like a 4-drop into play, like this, I can get it. Okay. Pretty good hits. Are they dead? Not quite, but close. I mean, to be fair, our custom ban list for Hoots is for Historic. It's not for Standard. They didn't touch Historic. Yeah, this card, honestly, even if this card wasn't a Spirit, you'd still play it in this archetype. It's just a good removal spell for Collected Company decks. They're still just dead, right? Is there any hope for Knight of the Reliquary and Historic? I don't think so, Luna Hero. I think without traditional fetch lands, that card's nowhere near competitive. Yeah, I do Warcraft. So the September discount for people that are newly paying to sub to the channel, the discount that you're getting on that comes out of Twitch's cut. I appreciate the folks that that use that to support the content. What's going on, Roz? Good morning. For those of you paying attention at home, the audio just got louder, which means Kaladesh board, or Amonkhet board. Kaladesh is the next set that's coming, right? This is Amonkhet. Alright, yeah, this is great, right? To keep, I'm gonna bottom... I guess great's a strong word. Lofty Denial on 2 into 3 drop on 3. About Nebelgast Herald, I think, here. Keep Linvala, Eagle in the dark. So they're going to have 4 mana total next turn. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a risk and deploy Eagle here to get pressure going, and then we'll try and start holding up Denial. What? No. They called me a peasant. The other things don't fit.
What I'm saying.
Alright, so...
They've never seen this view. They've only seen this view.
Okay. Nah, you're fine. They know I'm bald. So Glasspool Mimic is an auto-include in any deck with a Lord that can make blue mana. Yeah, definitely, O'Hare. Especially if you're on Collecting Company. Do you need to follow my wife to see that photo? I mean, you could technically see her stuff without following me, I suppose. I mean, to set a low bar, Rogues is better now than it was before. Is she Krillydactyl or Christy Hoagland? I think she might be Christy Hoagland on Twitter. Yeah, Christy Hoagland on Twitter. On the twatters. So we're like dead to removal no matter how I cut this here. I think we just do this and attack with these two. And hope that we can jump and live here. The fact that, and this is the tough part about mulligans and Magic, right? Like, if I knew my opponent was playing Gruul this game, I would have kept Nebelgast Herald instead of Linvala. But because I was forced to make a mulligan decision in the dark, I was not afforded the player agency to be able to do that. Really, I love that in the information age, tournaments have moved to being more open deck list based, because open deck list based tournaments are far more skill testing than random matches on the ladder. They allow good players to make informed decisions way more often. Alright, do you have 2 burn spells or are you dead? We're gonna sneak it out here. What time the update will be live today? Arena posted that we were going to see an update. We were going to go into maintenance mode soon, so I imagine it's not going to be long. Definitely want... There should... Honestly, so... Thinking about the format, all 4 of these Skyclave Apparitions should probably be in my main deck. Are we going to change that after this? I don't know, like, this card seems real good. Why is everyone hating on the Walking Dead cards? Because some Magic players hate fun. JQ, thanks for the 2 months of Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Would I rather have Denial or Scavenging Ooze on the draw? I think I'd rather have Scavenging Ooze. If you like the Walking Dead cards, feel free to retweet. Go farm that clout. Oh, I should have played Glasspool Mimic on 1. I was tweeting chat, now we're gonna lose because of it. Come on, untapped land! Untapped land, let's go! It's a bad precedent. Alright. Have a timeout. I was gonna give you a chance to justify yourself, but you can come back and justify yourself after 10 minutes. It's a bad precedent. It's a slippery slope. It's a durka merpa burpa blur. Come on, stop it. Get some help. Yeah, wait till they see the Dungeons and Dragons set. Alright, so we're definitely Nebelgast Heralding again next turn, right? What formats are they legal in? Legacy, Vintage, and Casual. The cards being extremely difficult to acquire. Oh no! What next after these cards that are only legal in Legacy? Are they gonna print a bunch of really powerful cards that you have to play the format and then put them on some kind of special list where they'll never be reprinted and they'll cost maybe hundreds or even thousands of dollars? How would people play Legacy and Vintage if format staples cost hundreds or thousands of dollars? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Fuck! Come on, people! Good lord! What a terrible precedent to set. As long as we're not pretending this isn't a rich person's only game. Magic's great. I love Magic, chat. It's fun. I think we're dead this time through, chat. Think we might be dead. I guess this maybe saves us. Don't stop me. Oh, you know what? I should shock this in and play Eagle first. That way I could clone this in response. Yeah. I think we're dead to a removal spell there anyways. How are you finding Skyclave Apparition? It's been really good. I think there's a good chance you just want all 4 of these main. After watching how that game played out, I kind of want Kira rather than Lofty Denial post board here, I think. I enjoy watching myself be funny. Sorry, I was rewatching the clip. That's a good clip. I like to watch clips before I tweet them. I have to admit, the ban and restricted mostly motivated me to play more Witcher 3. Honestly, chat, the best way you can tell Wizards you want more things banned in Historic and other formats is show up and support my event this weekend. I do not think it is coincidence that we had an incredible amount of positive feedback on the event where we banned Teferi Time Raveler, and then they banned Teferi Time Raveler. Like, I don't think they ignored that. I know lots of people like to give them crap for not listening, but I would be incredibly surprised if that event being successful and having the feedback it didn't contribute to why that card ended up getting banned. What's the event? This Saturday, we are playing a modified Historic tournament on my channel, where Uro, Claim the Firstborn, and Muxus are all banned. So it is the normal Historic ban list with the addition of those cards also being removed. Neoform is legal. It is not clear to me at this point that Neoform is powerful enough to warrant banning. So I didn't ban that one. That could be something we change in the future if we do more custom ban list stuff. Alright, who's got 2 thumbs and isn't blocking an Embercleave? This guy right here. I think I want to play out another flyer here. They're not quite dead in the air, but we're close. They want to trade their elves for this. I can play another skews and clean out the graveyard, so that's fine. Oh, I have to pay green for this, right? Sounds good, Vaz. Catch you later. Remember, if you miss any of this set, it'll all be up on YouTube later. As is always the case. Ooh. A mythic ICR that I didn't actually have? That's crazy. That's some sort of chat etiquette. I think we have a command for that. What was the synergy bit we used to do? I don't recall at this point. See, it needs a second land, unfortunately, so we're going to take a mulligan here. Yeah, S1's super reasonable. Actually, I want to bottom Glasspool Mimic, just keep my guaranteed 3 lands, I think. Having an extra dual land in this archetype feels real good. Someone in chat said they wanted the picture of my streaming setup with my bald head in it, so there you go. This is what? This is what my current streaming rig looks like. I was talking about replacing my center monitor because it's going out. So there's my screen and my other screens and my bald head. My walls are barren. I mean, you can see that picture that I have some sound baffling up. See right in front of me, right behind the screens. Go Sandwich, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I thought the bald head photos were OnlyFans only content. I'm feeling my desire to continue playing Magic is leaving me, so I'm gonna concede this match and move on to the next one. I don't really feel like playing against Sultai. Do I use the built-in mic on the webcam? No, there's a blue Yeti. There's a blue Yeti on the desk right behind me. You can kind of see it behind my left ear. There's a silver bullet looking thing there. You considered wall mounting the monitors to clear up desk space. So remember, my desk goes up and down, so I can't really wall mount the monitors easily, but I could put arms on the desk itself. That's something I could do, perhaps. For those that aren't familiar, in the pre-plague times, this current room that I am in was supposed to be a temporary office. I was originally going to finish a different space in my basement and move into making my content from there. But then the plague happened and I'm no longer having contractors into my home, so this is probably going to become a more permanent space now. which means I could probably cut the last bit of echo out of the room by putting sound baffling on the ceiling. Is likely something I need to invest in at some point. Asinine Frankenstein, thanks for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And even if we do escape the plague time sometime soon, Christy and I have subsequently taken the chunk of money we had saved up to refinish my office space, and we've invested it into a playground in the backyard for the kids. That's going to get put up soon. Figured we might as well do something productive with the money. Wait, is this the same archetype? Damn it, Bobby. Okay, third time's the charm. I just don't feel like playing against Sultai. It's just real miserable. I don't think the matchup's 0%, but I do think it's low enough that I'm not gonna have fun playing. Honestly, and this is something that are the videos for Plague Architecture going to be on OnlyFans? I have hired professionals to assemble the playground equipment. My children are hopefully going to be playing on it for many years, and I prefer it gets put up well and right. So, it is currently sitting disassembled in my garage. We have some people coming to install some ground underneath it so it's not just up on mud and grass, and then put it together early next month. I'm afraid to ask how much the playground costs. Well, we had about 10 grand set aside to refinish a room for a streaming room for myself, and we no longer have any of that money set aside. Shout out to Twitch Prime, by the way. We're definitely going to dub it the Twitch Prime Playground. The playground would not exist without Twitch Prime. I think we're just playing this as a green source. I have a second white. You hope it's not wood. That's what most playgrounds are made out of. Correct, it's wood. Correct. Yeah, having some people over to work on something in my backyard is much less of a risk than having people inside my home. Do shillionaires get to use the playground? Asking the real questions. Yeah, I'm familiar with acoustic paneling. For people that aren't familiar with my background, by the way, in a former life before I was a online stream girl, I worked as an audio engineer. That's how I paid to put myself through undergrad, was working as a live audio engineer for various bars and small theaters and stuff like that. So I'm familiar with acoustical design to a degree. Eligog, thank you for the 3rd of year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We'll be taking standard submissions again with the ban. Yeah, I was waiting to see what happened today. But yeah, standard submissions are definitely open. It's the same person we played against earlier. We played against someone else playing blue-green monsters. Judgeinator, thank you for the tier 3 resub and the 38 months at that. That's an absurd amount of support for an absurd length of time. Add your favorite Rune Terror deck. Sounds good. Will do. Rune Terror this evening, by the way, for folks that are enjoying that as my regulars. That's going to be the start of every one of my evening streams this week. My plan while I am doing a split streaming schedule is to kind of shuffle up where I'm putting my content every week. So that way people who can only watch in the evenings or only watch in the mornings all get a chance to watch a little bit of everything live. And obviously everything will stay on YouTube. Alright, so Lofty Denial seems great. Linvala seems not stellar. They don't really have removal in their deck. I'm expecting Shifting Ceratops to come in, so Skyclave seems reasonable. More vocals for the monitors. Ain't that the truth? I miss doing that kind of stuff sometimes, but gosh, I have to imagine that whole industry had to have gotten just completely hammered with the state of the world, I imagine. Those types of folks, like, I remember when I did that work, I was always an independent contractor, which meant you were liable for all of your own stuff, and those are the types of events and gatherings that just aren't possible under social distancing type things. Even if they are, they're not profitable. Because your profits depend on being able to pack a bunch of people into a theater or a venue. Yeah, I mean, independent contractors have been getting the short end of the stick for a long time, right? Coronavirus really highlighted a lot of the issues we have with our current system and how fundamentally flawed it is in so many ways. Folks are still having weddings though, which is both bad and really bad. Yep. I spoke to a family member that I hadn't talked to in a little bit since all of this started, because I kind of assumed what their response would be. But, like, they were like, when I called them, they were visiting one person's house, and then they were planning to go visit someone else's house for dinner that night. And then they told me how they were planning to stop and attend a 100-person wedding somewhere else as they were traveling back down to Florida. And I was just like, oh, God. Oh, just... It's like, it was like one of those things where, like, I kind of assumed that that was, like, what was occurring, but, like, I also, like, somewhere in my mind I hadn't talked to them, so I had convinced myself that, like, maybe that wasn't the case, but yeah, it was definitely totally always the case. Ah, Florida indeed. Listen, Florida man is a meme for a reason, chat. You had reasonable doubt before confirmation hurts. Yep. Alright, exile spirits, please. Your finest exile spirits. Rude. Alright, well, we get to diddle their entire board here at least. Hey, diddle diddle, the snake and the fiddle. So this is 8. This is 12. If I hit double Lord on this collected company, I kill them. But that's probably not smart, right? I should probably just wait. Well, reach is only till end of turn. That's true. A single thing is almost time walk. So, when you get a Mimic off of Collected Company, you cannot copy the other thing. You cannot copy the other thing that you're getting with the company. I am dead to a counterspell here, technically. Yeah, it might have been right to hold something back to play around a counterspell there. Waiting, waiting. Do 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 do. I am indeed in love with the cocoa. Never see yourself. Sorry, Blue Mage Jack. I meant to respond to that. Not really. Like, my schedule is hectic with kids and everything that's going on right now, and coordinating with other content creators tends to be a hassle. And if I'm also being blunt and selfish and transparent, like, I'd probably make time to work with someone like Swim or Mogwai, but anybody who's like my size or smaller, the amount of effort I have to jump through to coordinate stuff like that just tends to not be worth the payoff. I like already don't have enough hours in the day for the content I want to make on my own, so adding extra content where I'm coordinating with others on top of that's just tough to justify. Alright, well, we're on the play lots of lords and hope to not get claimed the firstborn plan. Thought seize me, daddy. Take all of my thoughts. They are all belong to you. I'll bid my counterspell here and keep my spells. It's a good draw. I think this archetype's super reasonable, Bakinsane. I think your matchup against specifically Claim the Firstborn can be a little bit tough, but Kiora also gives you a lot of play in those matchups. Been pretty happy in general with what we're doing overall here. He says before getting completely dismantled this turn. Alright, we need to hit an untapped land to collect a company this turn. Feels Magic Man. Actual only spell in the deck we couldn't cast with the lands that we have. Actual only spell in the deck we couldn't cast with the lands that we have. So if they have claimed the Firstborn here, they get to claim this and then sack it to Village Rights off of Dreadhorde Arcanist. So the opponent has the nuts. I mean, they kind of just have their average. The opponent's archetype is incredibly polarizing versus creature-based decks. It is a big part of why I've banned a key card from their archetype in Claim the Firstborn for the Open this weekend. I think their archetype tends to be very oppressive against small creature decks like what we're playing, and limits diversity in Historic a good deal. I hate mulliganing against the Thoughtseize deck, but it is what it is. This is great. We'll bottom the Glasspool Mimic, and we'll go 2, 3, 4. And by go 2, 3, 4, I mean we'll get Thoughtseize 2 to 3 times. We won't have a curve. Alright. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Alright, so I could play Shacklegeist plus Goose here. However, if my opponent has Thoughtseize next turn, they'll get to take both of these, and then I don't have much left over. So I think I'd rather just Linvala here. So that way their attack with this isn't stellar unless they can kill her. I guess I could go Goose, Shacklegeist, and then don't attack with the Supreme Phantom to plan to use Shacklegeist to diddle this. Okay. Okay. What on earth is a full party? So party is a mechanic in the new set that refers to different creature types. So a full party in this instance explicitly refers to a cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard. Casting your spells is overrated, chat. Getting them discarded by Kraxa. Yeah, so one of the sets that they announced for next fall is going to be a D&D themed set, which I expect will expand on the party mechanic a good bit. You should be able to have 4 bards to have a full party. Something like that. I think it's Forgotten Realms, if I recall, Ninja Turtle Jr. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year, Target Tummy. Collecting Company is a very strong card in Historic. Number of good decks built around that one. So, those cards, trigger warning, only count for one of your party cards. They don't count as the entire party. You can't have a full party with less than 4 creatures. What's our out to win this game? Probably, like, Collecting Company into Double Lord next turn. I guess we could theoretically chump block this Croxa and be okay. We have food to eat to gain life. Maybe the Shacklegeist just goes the distance. It's going full speed. Life Guardian, thank you for the 23 months early. Appreciate the continued Prime support. Welcome back. Nice Mace Stun Bro, checking in for the 14th month. Good morning. Those of you just joining us, catching us right at the tail end. If you're not familiar with my new schedule yet, I've been doing a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the evening. So we're going to play this match and maybe one more with Spirits. We'll see how long this one takes. And then we'll be back tonight to play some Standard as well as Runeterra. Ooh. Opponent let themselves dead on board. It's a good play. Solid line. Get me happy with how I boarded. Glasspool Mimic's been an absurd upgrade to this archetype. Having a land you can company into is really great. This hand's not amazing, but you don't make your hand better against Thoughtseize decks by mulliganing, so definitely just keeping. Definitely the first creature we're playing out here. It's a good draw. Here is a good one. So she stops the first time any of our things get targeted in a turn. So if they want to kill our stuff, they need to kill it twice. Which is nice. Stops Claim the Firstborn and stuff like that. Okay, so I assume they have a Feed the Swarm here to finish this then. That's unfortunate. Maybe I should have let on Linvala. Maybe. Think we are definitely just Skyclaving this, right? I don't want them to be able to flashback things here. Yeah, we're up to 13 people signed up for Saturday already. I'm curious to see if this event has more or less people than the Week 1 Standard tournament that we did. Would you like Linvala or Eagle? Obviously, Cultivate's a good replacement for Uro. Yep. just play these two this turn, I think. The Hoots this weekend is Modified Historic. It is Historic with 3 additional cards banned. Well, they forgot to Phyrexian Tower their Kroxa. Oh, they're doing that, sure. Lightning Bolt resolves indeed. It's a good draw. We might win here. I think this archetype's genuinely good. I know I conceded to Sultai twice because I just didn't feel like playing against Sultai. I don't think that matchup's impossible. I think it's just tedious. I've been pretty happy with this list. One change I think I'm probably gonna make is putting all the Skyclaves in the main because this card's been absurd, but I'm definitely gonna update. Bant Spirits is one of the many historic decks you can find on my website, and I think that I'm definitely going to update the list to something close to this. As Grafdigger's Cage made an impact. Well, we have 4 ways to kill Grafdigger's Cage and Skyclave, so I don't really think that card's too big of a deal. The bans today only apply to Standard. I think it's important that I leave a second blocker back here, so that way, if they rip a claim the first board, I cannot die. Because even if I have to chump block with this, these 2 are still lethal. Jeff, love the Legacy Belcher videos. Sad we don't have Dark City Candy anymore, but glad to see it improve for the cannon. It was a good set, Recon. It was a good set for sure. Oh, that reminds me, I need to file for compensation because it was bugged. Gotta get my 10 extra bucks back from Moto. Lord knows I've lost enough of it. So, thoughts on this. 1, love Glasspool Mimic. Card's a huge upgrade. Getting to only play 20 lands while having 24 virtual lands is very, very good. Having another dual land that provides untapped green on 1 makes Gilded Goose much easier to play. Was super happy with that. Skyclave Apparition really, really overperformed. I think I want all my copies of those in the main. And Linvala was fine, but I think you mostly want this against interactive and sweeper-based decks, so I think she probably belongs in the sideboard. I think this card giving you a touch of interaction that you could collect a company into consistently is really worthwhile, especially when you consider the fact that we have Glasspool Mimic again. This is kind of like having 8 pieces of interaction in a lot of ways, so I think this main deck with mostly 4 ofs here is what I'm going to put on the website. Sideboard seems reasonable-ish. Dovin's Veto might be worse than Negate. Between Basic Forest and Branchloft Pathway, I feel like requiring a white to gain uncounterable might not be worth it here, but I also think you should probably play a few more games with it to confirm that, so maybe I'll leave those as is. All right, at any rate, that's going to wrap my stream up for this morning. Remember, if you're someone new, I post my schedule on my YouTube channel or on my website. It's always pinned to my Twitter as well. I'll be back this evening about 7 p.m. Central Time, which is about 7 hours from now. For those that are not on Cornfield Time, we're going to start with some Legends of Runeterra, and then we're going to play some post-ban Uro Standard here. What do we have? The deck queue for Standard has Blue-Red Luca is what we're going to play tonight for Standard, it looks like. Wanderer, thank you for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. If you're mostly just interested in Historic, I have to do a shorter stream tomorrow morning because I have something to do late morning. We're just going to be doing variety, but we'll be back with Historic on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday will be our 7th Hoaglandia Open, which will be modified Historic all day. At any rate, stay safe out there, wherever you're at, folks. Peace. Hopefully see some of you this evening. And remember, if you're looking for more content for myself, you can find that on my YouTube channel in addition to my website.